Our unheard investigation brought us back to Chesterfield County.
I think I did tell you that we had an incident, but I didn't know the details of the case.
Are you sure that's what you said?
I may have. I don't remember what I said to you, to be honest with you.
Had the case in 2022 been handled differently, 2023 may have never happened, and we may not be here talking about this.
Well, I don't know.
The same victim, the same perpetrator, the same allegation. It makes me furious that this could happen, and it makes it even worse that the only people that could help this girl chose to turn the other cheek.
Within hours of our unheard investigation 2 weeks ago, we learned of a prior sexual molestation investigation in Chesterfield County. In October, investigators charged a 56-year-old illegal immigrant with molesting an 11-year-old family member.
But that October case isn't the little girl's first complaint, something the sheriff's lead investigator said he knew nothing about when we contacted him in December. We now have proof he knew. And the day after our interview, the lead investigator resigned. Here's Jody Barr with a follow-up to Unheard, a Queen City News investigation.
I'm looking for another picture I have of her.
Mona Melton's known the little girl in this picture.
This is her.
Ever since the girl was just a few days old.
She was about 8, 9.
Just a baby.
A little baby. An innocent child.
She's now 11 and listed as a victim in a Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office child sex assault case from October, where deputies say the victim used her cell phone to Snapchat photographic evidence of her 56-year-old abuser in the act.
My daughter's best friend sent her a photo of her being sexually assaulted.
Samantha Fiella got those images and called 911 in that October case. Deputies arrested Belisario Morales Mazariegos that night, charging him with third-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor. Fiella didn't know it then, but a source told us in 2022, the sheriff's office looked into a prior abuse allegation involving Mazariegos and the same little girl. Do you think she chose to take those pictures because maybe she had a problem with people believing her before?
Yeah, usually they need some type of proof because people will be like, oh, no. And then on top of that, it's children. So a lot of times people are just like, oh, you're making it up. You saw it on YouTube. You saw it on the TikTok or someone else's story. And it's just like almost like looking for attention, but in a negative way.
For an 11-year-old little girl to have to think that far ahead.
It's just like mind-blowing. It really is. It's sad.
In December, we asked the sheriff's lead investigator, Captain Wayne Jordan, whether he had any documented prior allegations. Jordan told us then he searched but found nothing. The sheriff's office told me there were no prior investigations, didn't know of any, couldn't find any incident reports. Is that true?
No, that is not true because I called the police myself.
When was that?
About a year and a half.
So July 2022 sounds right?
Yeah.
Melton says she was shopping at a Pageland store with the victim in July 2022 when the girl told her story.
We're walking around Bargain Basket, me and another friend of mine. Her mother told me to drop her off at the mail's house. She started acting real funny. I asked her why, and she started telling me, so then I took her outside and talked to her instead of walking around in the store. And I told her, I'm gonna have to call the law. And she was like, that's fine, because my mama's not gonna do anything. She told me that her mother was touching her inappropriately and that her mother knew about it and wouldn't do anything. So I called the police.
Deputies filed this report dated July 27th, 2022. The details show Deputy Brittany Love was on scene within minutes and took the victim into a room to video record an interview with her. Love is not an investigator. She was a school resource officer on summer patrol at the time. Did the little girl tell her mother?
Yeah, and her mother said, you're lying, you're just trying to ruin my life.
Did the mother try to do anything to figure out whether this was true?
No.
The victim, 10 years old at the time, told the deputy a family member molested her. She identified the man as Hector, also known as Belisario Morales Mazariegos. The report corroborated Mona Melton's story. The girl's mother called her daughter a liar. The deputy wrote the mother claimed she never left her daughter alone with the suspect at his home, before later admitting she did. The mother is the same woman deputies arrested in the October case, after Samantha Fiella said the woman tried to get her to delete the pictures the little girl sent. The only reason we're not identifying the mother is to protect the victim's identity.
They should have done this the first time.
But Mona Melton says as soon as deputies left the home in 2022, things got even worse for the girl. What happened as soon as that door closed?
She took everything away from her. She couldn't watch TV. She couldn't play on her tablet. She couldn't play on her cell phone. She couldn't go outside and ride her bike. She had to sit on the couch and face the wall. unless she told the police it was a lie. And I heard that myself. If you want all your stuff back, you have to tell them it was a lie. Have to tell them it wasn't true, that you were just mad at mommy.
What did you think when you heard that?
I was disgusted. But I called the officer and told them that they're going to be saying it's not true, but, you know, her mother told her to say that. I never heard from the police again after that.
I asked the girl's mother for an on-camera interview, but she would not agree to one. The woman first told me every allegation against Mazariegos was not true. She ended that call by hanging up on me. I then started a text exchange with her. The mother now says Mona Melton's story about her forcing her daughter to change her story is not true. The mother says she told the little girl to tell deputies the truth. The mother now seems to believe her daughter, texting me, he needs to be prosecuted to the fullest extent, saying Mazariegos doesn't ever need to be set free. We don't know how long the 2022 investigation lasted or what investigators did and when. The sheriff will not provide us copies of the rest of the incident report. If you were to find out that Deputy Love compiled a packet, delivered it to her administration at the sheriff's office, and never heard anything back from her administration or investigators about this case again, would you be disappointed in knowing that?
Yes, very disappointed. Because this could have stopped a year and a half ago.
Last month, Sheriff's Captain Wayne Jordan told us he couldn't find any record of a prior allegation involving this victim. But the screenshot from the sheriff's internal system shows Jordan for sure knew of that 2022 case back in October. This shows the night deputies arrested Belisario Mazariegos. The system logged the moment Captain Jordan accessed the 2022 report. It's marked modified right by his name. And if not for a source, we would have likely never found out about the prior report. You told me on the phone in November and December that you had absolutely no knowledge of any prior complaints by this little girl. You've checked the system and saw nothing.
And I had no knowledge of the details. I knew about the report on the 25th of October 25th. I knew about the report. I didn't know about the details.
You knew my question to you was, have you had prior allegations? And you knew where I was going in that line of questioning, that we knew there was another case. And you told me on the phone, no, I've checked the system. There is no other prior allegation.
At the time we talked, I had, and I didn't see it. But I'm just saying that I did not know about the details of the 22 case.
I wasn't calling about details. I asked about prior allegations, period, and you told me no.
I just told you I didn't know about the case.
You told me no,
okay,
that you checked the system.
I didn't know about the details of the case.
So you don't believe that was a lie that day?
I don't think I lied to you, no, sir.
Then why didn't you tell me about that? Yeah, we have another report from 2022.
I think I did tell you that we had an incident, but I didn't know the details to the case.
Are you sure that's what you said?
I may have. I don't remember what I said to you, to be honest with you.
If anyone would know exactly what happened with the 2022 case, Captain Wayne Jordan should. He was former Sheriff J.D. Dixon's lead investigator in 2022 and leads the current sheriff's investigative unit now. What happened after that deputy left the house?
You know, reading my report from my investigator, they conducted a proper investigation, a thorough investigation, and concluded there was not enough probable cause to go forward with any kind of criminal charges.
Jordan says he's satisfied with his investigators' work, even though he confirmed they never interviewed the suspect, the mother, or Mona Melton after Deputy Love submitted her case file to investigations 18 months ago.
Again, the probable cause is what we need to go forward. And when the story changes, and we don't have the probable cause, we cannot go forward.
And would the story changing be the fact that this little girl told investigators that what she initially alleged did not happen to her?
That's where the probable cause changed, yes.
And y'all did no investigation, as far as you could tell in the documentation and the supplemental reports that your investigators went back to find out what caused this little girl to change her story?
No further investigation was done. Once the case was closed, from lack of the probable cause, the case was closed.
What did you do to get that probable cause beyond closing the case? Did you go back for more? Did you do more digging?
I personally didn't, and I don't. Nothing in this report says that they did.
Although Captain Jordan supervises the sheriff's investigative unit, he admitted he doesn't review his subordinates' cases, including this one.
I just don't think that we can bring every case to me, not as many cases as we investigate.
Do you think some cases may take priority over others that you would want to know about?
Some do, yes, sir.
and the alleged sexual assault of a very, very young child isn't one of those?
I mean, it could have been brought to my attention. I agree with you, but it wasn't. Again, I look back over the report. I think they did a thorough investigation and they made the decision, and I'll stick behind their decision.
In the middle of this interview, the captain made a major decision in that 2022 case. Do you think it's worth an investigation to go back and see if this little girl was forced to change her story, that's something y'all should make right?
Once again, we can take it to the solicitor, and if the solicitor gives us the okay to open this investigation back, and it's reassigned, and they investigate it, and they find probable cause to add charges, then we will do it. I will stand by it.
I'm just surprised that 3 months later that hasn't happened, and during the course of a news interview and a news investigation, that possibility has just occurred to the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office.
I don't have an answer for you on that one.
The Sheriff's Office reopened the 2022 case the day of this interview. What do you think the last 18 months for this little girl might have been, the hell she could have been living through, because she did not believe that anybody believed her?
Well, I can't speak to her mindset, so I don't know what she would have been going through.
Your father, man, what do you imagine?
I mean, I'm sure she was probably distraught. I'm sure she was probably hurt. But again, there's other people to fault other than the Sheriff's Office. And there's other people to fault in my investigators.
Who is that?
Well, I don't know who they are. Could be the family members.
Chesterfield County Sheriff Campo Streeter tells us this will not happen again. You think a case like this being closed out without your supervisor ever having seen it was a good move?
In a perfect world, he would have talked to the investigators and said, what's going on? Have you contacted the solicitor's office? Have you done this?
Do you think that would be something that you think needs to be changed, is that a man who supervises investigations within your department is plugged in at least on what could be perceived as the big ones?
Yes. I would expect the supervisors to know what's going on in their department.
The sheriff, a retired veteran SLED agent, says he's now implementing a new case review system because of what we uncovered.
Then denied all allegations and called the girl a liar.
We took this 2022 case back to Ethan Ford, the part-time bail bondsman who asked us to investigate the $20,000 bond setting that got our unheard investigation started.
I'd say it might not be too little too late. Something is better than nothing, but it's still next to nothing in my opinion. She cried out for help, and for whatever reason, the ball stopped rolling. It makes me furious that this could happen, and it makes it even worse to know that the only people that could help this girl chose to turn the other cheek.
I'm relieved that she's finally getting some justice, that somebody's finally going to listen to her.
Mona Melton believes the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office holds all the blame for what happened to this victim last October. This is a child you've known since she was born. What would you say to her today if you could sit her down and put your arm around her?
I'm sorry.
The day after our interview with Captain Wayne Jordan, he resigned. He told the county he's retiring at the end of this month. The solicitor tells me the sheriff's office has now reopened the 2022 investigation. But we've also confirmed not only are investigators looking into anyone who might have sexually assaulted this young girl now and in the past, but this new investigation includes whether the mother ever obstructed justice. Belisario Mazariegos is still in the county jail under an immigration hold, awaiting trial on his charge. If any development in this reinvestigation happens, we'll let you know about it.